Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last round, go back, go check it out. The Austrian Grand Prix was an interesting race. As you can see, we finished in 3rd place and on the podium. But to get to the podium, we had to do a lot of work. Now though, we're going to go straight into the Grand Prix for the French Grand Prix, and we're going to dive straight into qualifying. And things are looking somewhat alright for us. However, which I didn't actually show you, we're no longer the fastest car in Formula 1. At the Austrian Grand Prix, McLaren and Ferrari made absolutely massive strides forward. And what that means is now we're actually the 3rd fastest car. We are behind Ferrari and McLaren. They must have brought an ultimate upgrade, both teams of some kind, because yeah, the performance leap that they have made is incredible. So we've got a lot of work to do now to get back on top of those guys and make ourselves once again the fastest car in F1, especially if we are to compete for this World Championship, because McLaren are in a great position, especially after victory last time out at the Red Bull Ring, to seize on the newfound performance that they have and get an advantage over us. And you can see here in qualifying, we're currently down in P18. And this is our fastest lap in qualifying, but right now we are 2/10 down on our previous best. So things are not looking good for us here at Paul Ricard. We're going to find a bit of time between now and the end of the lap, but surely we're not going to be able to make up that much ground from where we are. We just got to go through here. This is Sector 3 now. Sector 3, we've got to make up so much time. We've got to be so committed through these corners. Some of these corners you can make up a lot of time. And you can see as we go around this long right-hander, I believe it's called Le Beausset, we actually made up a 10th a second. It's through this sections where we typically lose a bit of time. I struggled there and I got a bad exit from that then. I could have made up a couple of 10ths, but instead I lost a 10th. And now through here, the penultimate corner into the final corner. We've got to get a good exit from the final corner. And we do get an alright exit, and we're only just green. And where are we going to be for this Grand Prix? It's not going to be very high up on the grid at all. It looks like it's P16 for the Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to France, one of the great racing meccas, host of the world-famous Tour de France, and widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing in the late 1800s. How far we've come since then, as this year's race gets underway. It's time, of course, for the French Grand Prix. The circuit Paul Ricard then, a 3.6-mile track, 25 miles east of Marseille. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with the main overtaking chance expected to be going into turn 8. Top speeds today should be around 205 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Alain Prost completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, and Perez. Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Schwartzman, and Pierre Gasly. Ocon, Albon, Théo Pourchaire, and Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Bennett, Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda, and Mick Schumacher. Stroll, Joe, Latifi, and Oscar Piastri. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
So once again, our main rival in this championship, Lando Norris, is starting on pole position. We are down in P15. We got a lot of work to do. It's lights out and away we go. We get off to a dreadful start. I was going to say it's okay, but actually that second phase was absolutely shocking. We lost out 3 positions there, but into turn 1 we dive straight back down the inside to get back all 3 of those positions. We made contact there with an AlphaTauri. The AlphaTauri there, I believe it was Yuki Tsunoda, and he's just lost his front wing. Where did he lose his front wing? Because he had his front wing when after he made contact with us, because he came wheel to wheel with us, still had his front wing. But at some point there, he lost his front wing, and Tsunoda, for the 2nd race in a row, has lost his front wing making contact with us. And what's he doing? That's 2 races in a row now Tsunoda's done that. So he's going to be diving into the pits for a new front wing at the end of this lap. We've survived without any damage, thankfully, but we are down in P17, so we did lose a place overall, and we got a lot of work to do in this Grand Prix as we get back underway And you can see we are under green flag running as we come out the final corner now. We're going to have to try and get past Mick Schumacher as quickly as possible. We use the ERS, we set it to overtake, and we're going to get closer and closer and reel in Schumacher. Are we going to be able to do anything? No, we're still a little bit too far back. Schumacher is just too far ahead of us. But if we get a good run through here, maybe down the inside right-hander, we can find a way past Schumacher. So here we go now in the slipstream with the ERS. We dive down the inside on Mick. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can. We make it stick on Mick. And through we go, and that is us now up to P16. Next up is Kevin Magnussen. We got to get past Magnussen as quickly as possible as well, because Max Verstappen has made his way past multiple cars, and Max is going to be quickly pulling away. And we want to try and stick with Max and use Max to drag us along to the next set of cars. But you can see here, Kevin Magnussen, he's busy in the slipstream of Porsche. He went to look down the inside, but he braked a little bit too early as Porsche closed the door on him. And that meant that we were able to get past Kevin Magnussen, and we found a way past K-Mag. Next up for us is our former teammate, Théo Pourchaire. Hopefully Pourchaire, as our former teammate, is not going to make things too difficult for us. We're going to get the DRS on Théo Pourchaire. And here we go down the inside on Théo. And through we go past Théo Pourchaire. That is us up to P14 in this race. Our car is significantly faster than these cars around us, so we should not have too much difficulty find a way past these guys. You can see next up for us on the hit list is Pierre Gasly, and that's going to be for P12 in this Grand Prix. At some point I found a way past Alex Albon, but I think I kind of forgot to put that in, but it was a pretty easy overtake, it must have been. And through we go now past Pierre Gasly. That's another place for us up to P12 as we go straight down the inside. And you can see the Marks wanted us to box a lap earlier, so that's interesting. So a strategy call has been made. We're going to stick with what we're already on because, well, it's already working for us and the tyres are holding up. As we go boom down the inside, straight past Esteban Ocon. That is us now up to P11. Next up for us is Fernando Alonso. And what can we do about Fernando Alonso? You can see we're going to get the DRS on Fernando. So we just about were within a second. And you can see as we go towards the end of lap number 6. Here we are closing up to the back of Fernando as he's getting caught up behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen and Schwartzman have been going wheel to wheel for about half of this lap. And with those guys going wheel to wheel, that has essentially held them both up and also held up Fernando Alonso. And it means now we're going to get a run on Fernando and into turn 1. We're going to go down the inside as Verstappen and Schwartzman are once again going wheel to wheel. And that means Schwartzman gets a terrible exit. And maybe, just maybe, we can look and get a move down the inside on Schwartzman. We're going to go for it down the inside, but we make contact with Schwartzman. Round we go. And there's been extra contact here. You can see there. There's the AlphaTauri. There's been a huge collision there. And the safety car has been deployed. And there's multiple cars out of the French Grand Prix. We went for a move down the inside. It didn't work. And look at this huge contact with multiple cars there. And I think there's about 4 or 5 cars out of this French Grand Prix. Let's take a look then. Who's out of the Grand Prix? Yeah, we're down to 17 cars. So that's about 5 cars then that all just crashed out there. And it was, I don't know whose fault it was. Schwartzman came across us. We didn't really have space to pass Schwartzman, but he did cut across us a little bit late. And then, yeah, there was huge contact with multiple cars. And yeah, that's those guys out of the Grand Prix. We're going to change our front wing. Everyone is in to make their first of 2 stops in this Grand Prix if they haven't already made a pit stop. So into the pits we go. We're going to change our front wing. Oh, you can see we're going to get held up because, of course, Alain Prost made his stop as well in this Grand Prix. And I think we're going to lose out massively with us changing our front wing. And yeah, we are. Oh my days, we're going to drop all the way to P16. Effectively last place in this Grand Prix with the exception of Yuki Tsunoda. So that is not great for us. We have dropped all the way back down towards the back of the field. And well, we got it all to do once again in this French Grand Prix. We're about to get the race back underway. We made a lot of overtakes in the first phase of this Grand Prix, and now in this second phase we're going to have to do it all again as we get this race back underway. Here we go then. At the restart we managed to hold up Ocon, and that was the goal. The goal there was to hold up Ocon and have him get a bad restart so we can get past him very quickly into turn 1. Right around the inside, turns to the inside for turn 2, and through we go past Esteban Ocon. And that is us back up to P15 in this Grand Prix. Next up for us is the Alpha Tauri. Sorry, actually, no, it's the Williams of Nicholas Latifi. What was I on about then? Alpha Tauri. Williams is Latifi's never going to make it into a car like Alpha Tauri. He can barely make it out of the Williams. So, next up for us is the GOAT himself, Nicholas Latifi. As we're going down the straight, and we're getting closer and closer to Latifi. We're a little bit too far back to make a move. But if we can get a good run through here, as I think we're about to here, yeah, we do. We get a decent run there. And now with the slipstream and the ERS, can we try and move down the inside into the fast right-hander? We're going to go for it, you know. Down the inside, through we go. And through we go past Nicholas Latifi. That is us up to P14. Next up is Lance Stroll. And Stroll, we're going to go for a move down the inside into turn 1. No, we're not. We're a little bit too far back. But we can set him up and try for a move where, well, we did try it on Schwartzman and it didn't really work out. But Lance Stroll is a bit easier than Schwartzman. And boom, down the inside. Lance Stroll locks up. And through we go past Stroll. And boom, down the inside on Mick Schumacher as well. So there we go. 2 passes in a couple of corners. That is us now back up to P12 in this Grand Prix. Next up for us is the Alfa Romeo of Oscar Piastri. And you can see it now, we're closing up to Piastri, and that's going to put us in the top 11 if we can get past him. And next up will be Fernando Alonso, and a point in this Grand Prix. So here we go, we're going to get the DRS, of course, on Oscar Piastri. Piastri is going to get the DRS as well, but we are much faster than Oscar Piastri. And here we go with DRS and slipstream, and here we go then, and we're going to go to the inside. Yes, we are down the inside. Oscar Piastri, here we go, down the inside, boom! Make it stick on Oscar Piastri. That is us up to P11. Next up is Fernando Alonso. We've already passed him once in this Grand Prix. We're going to do it once again. Are we going to go down the inside, or are we a little bit too far back for this faster right-hander? We're going to go for it. But we had to back out. We couldn't make it stick. But what about into Le Beauce? Let's take a look here. Fernando Alonso runs a little bit wide. He actually made a slight mistake. Had to correct it, and through we go past Fernando Alonso. And that is us up to P10 in this Grand Prix. As we get past Fernando Alonso. Next up for us is the man who we collided with earlier in the Grand Prix, Robert Schwartzman. And that will see us up to P9. Actually, no, it won't. It'll see us up to P8 because there's Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is out of the Grand Prix, and that is us up to P9 here in this French Grand Prix. Next up then for us, as I said, is Robert Schwartzman. And actually we got past Schwartzman at some point. I must have skipped that out. And next up is now Lewis Hamilton, as it turns out. Anyway guys, as we're diving into the pits for the second time to go into a set of hard compound tyres to take us to the end of this Grand Prix, I should say if you are enjoying this video, please do drop a like button and subscribe down below if you haven't already for more F1 content. I've been enjoying making this content for you guys, and as I've said before, we've got a lot of content to bring your guys' way, especially during this off-season period. So yeah, hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. Anyway, back to this race now, and you can see we're coming out behind Lewis Hamilton, as to be expected really. Of course, Hamilton boxed in just in front of us. We had a slow exit though from the pit stops, and actually we lost about a second, I think it was there, to Lewis Hamilton. So we got a lot of work to do then to make that second back up that we did just lose on Lewis Hamilton. Can we do that? Well, if the rest of our pace in this Grand Prix is anything to go by, I have a feeling we might just do that. Anyway, we go towards the end of lap 17 now, and look at this, we're closing up on Lewis Hamilton, who's closing up on the back of Nicholas Latifi. And if Latifi doesn't box in, then, actually no, Latifi is boxing in. I was going to say, if Latifi wasn't boxing in, he could have held up Lewis Hamilton, but it looks like he's actually held up Sergio Perez in front. And that's very nice for us, because that means that we are going to find a way surely past Sergio Perez at some point if he comes out because he's been held up nicely, and with our pace, yeah, I'm feeling very confident that we're going to get Sergio Perez in the second half of this Grand Prix. With 9 laps to go, I feel very confident we're going to get past him, and I have a feeling we're going to get past Lewis Hamilton as well, and we're going to size him up, and we're going to go down the inside into this right-hander. Boom, we make it stick on Lewis Hamilton, and that is us up to P7 in this Grand Prix. Next up for us is the Red Bull of Sergio Perez and the Ferrari there of Carlos Sainz, and we've just got a few laps left to go. But as we go to lap 20, as you can see, we are closing that gap in on Sergio Perez, And we're right behind Sergio Perez now as Carlos Sainz gets held up trying to go for a move on Max Verstappen. And that's perfect for us, even though we get a very bad exit from that corner, because Carlos Sainz getting held up by Max Verstappen is going to hold up Sergio Perez, which in the meantime means we're going to get closer to Perez, and we're going to go down the inside into Labose. And can we make it stick? No, we can't, but Perez makes a mistake in the second half of Labose, and through we go past Sergio Perez. That is us now up to P6 in this Grand Prix. Next up for us is the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. And can we do anything then about Carlos Sainz? Let's see what happens here as we go round this left-hander. We're going to get the DRS, of course, on Carlos Sainz. Surely we're a little bit too far back to make a move, but we can use it to get close enough to Carlos Sainz to maybe have a run into that chicane at turn 3-4. Let's see what happens here then. Into turn 1 we go. We're a little bit too far back, but can we set him up here through turn 1 and turn 2 if we get a good run? Nah, I think we're a little bit too far back to try anything on Carlos Sainz. David Croft might think we'll have an opportunity, but I don't think we're going to have much of an opportunity. We are a little bit too far back. But we do get a good run through there. And now, if we can get a good run around this right-hander into the left-hander DRS zone with the slipstream and DRS as Carlos Sainz gets a little bit squirrely on the exit, we're going to get closer to Sainz here. And maybe, just maybe, down the inside. Can we look for it? We're going to go down the inside on Sainz. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can. And that is us now up to P5 in this race. Next up for us is the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And if we can get him, look who's just 2 seconds in front of him. It's Daniel Ricciardo. Which means that just maybe we might even finish this Grand Prix on the podium. I don't think we're going to be able to do too much more than that. And through Labose we go, and Verstappen, what was he doing there? Verstappen was just sleeping at Labose, and well, we found a way past him. And we're going to skip now to the last lap of this Grand Prix. As you can see, Ricciardo opened up a 6-second gap to us. But here we go now. On the last lap, we're going to look to go right around the outside of Max Verstappen. It changes to the inside. Through we go. Verstappen's going to try and find a way past us. If he can, he may retake P4 in this Grand Prix. For us, it's all about holding on to 4th place. The top 3 haven't managed to get away from us. And Ricciardo with a 6+ second gap. But here we go now, coming round to the DRS zone. Can Verstappen do anything? It's 0.2 of a second. He's got the DRS. But we've saved up all our ERS. Thankfully, with us having the ultimate ERS upgrade, we've pretty much always got full ERS usage. And we're going to deploy as much as possible down this straight. And we're going to maintain that 0.2 gap to Max Verstappen. Now, down this straight, we're going to use another punch of ERS to try and maintain position from Max Verstappen. He's getting closer and closer and closer. But he can't do anything about it. Into Labose we go. We actually have to shift down to 7th gear there briefly because the tyres are just wearing out. Through Labose we go. It's now down to 1/10 of a second. But we are now just having a couple of corners left. Can Verstappen do anything? We run deep. That's going to give Verstappen an opportunity. Verstappen, look at it now. He's going to have the inside line for the penultimate corner. Verstappen goes through. But right around the outside we go. It switches to the inside. We're going to use that then to block Verstappen. And there we go. We're going to now, if we can just use the ERS that's available, have a punch to the line. And we're going to finish in 4th place. What a result for us here in France to finish in 4th. Verstappen in 5th. A brilliant result for him as well. As of course we both started way down the order.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
So both McLaren drivers in the end finishing on the podium, and if I'm right in remembering, that might be the first time that's actually happened, that we've got 2 McLaren drivers on the podium, which it just shows just how far the McLaren team has come here in Season 3 of My Team Career Mode. My teammate Alain Prost finishing 2nd, doing wonders for Pulse Motorsports here today. So Lando Norris wins the French Grand Prix from Alain Prost in 2nd place. Daniel Ricciardo finishes a brilliant 3rd. We finish in 4th. Verstappen in 5th. Carlos Sainz 6th. Perez in 7th. Hamilton P8. Schwartzman P9. And Fernando Alonso rounds out the top 10 and we had multiple cars DNF this Grand Prix. Zhou Guanyu, Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, Théo Pourchaire, and Charles Leclerc all DNF'd from the Grand Prix. So in the driver's standings, as you can see, Lando Norris now has an 11-point lead in the Drivers' Championship from us in 2nd place, Sergio Perez is 3rd, and our teammate Alain Prost is in 4th. And with that in the Constructors then, Pulse Motorsports is still leading the Constructors' Championship. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, as always, comment, leave a like, and if you're already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.